During the time where South Africa was in trouble with its northern neighboring country, the United Nations decided to sanction South Africa under the UN Security Council Resolution 418. Due to its policy of apartheid, South Africa couldn't receive any kind of foreign assistance with regards to its helicopter purchase or development. The South African military was heavily reliant on French helicopters, such as the SA-330 Puma and the SA-316 Alouette III. The latter was from 1960s and it was starting to become extremely outdated. The conflicts in the borders of South Africa wasn't really helping the situation either. At first, they tried to make an Alouette 3 and make an attack helicopter out of that, which the result has become, oh, brother, what the hell is that? Jesus Christ, how did this thing flew under my radar when I was making this video? Oh my god. A brand new helicopter was needed to escort the friendly troop transports, having the ability to destroy the enemy anti-air positions and destroy the enemy tanks with ease. It felt like the same requirements that were existing in the Vietnam War that eventually led to the revolutionary AH-1 Cobra was also appearing here too. So one company had to make the revolutionary design in South Africa. One helicopter that could fill the gaps that the Alouette 3 couldn't fill anymore. Introducing the Atlas Rooivalk. An inspiration from history designed to fill in the demand and built out of desperation. The Bell AH-1 Cobra became the perfect piece for the Army's puzzle. Would the same thing happen to the Atlas Rooivalk? Well, we'll have to see.
Hello and welcome to the press conference number 374. Today we are happy to announce that the border war is over and the Rooivalk project is killed and the corpse is under the way to its demise. Thank you for the attention of this matter. Now on to the questions. Yes, you?
Excuse me, what the actual fuck? In reality, the war was coming to a close, and the budgetary constraints, which is pretty much the jump scare of every single helicopter's development that got cancelled, started to become a problem as well. Plus, on top of the fact that, allegedly, some South African Air Force officials were seeing this helicopter as a direct threat towards the fixed-wing aircraft, not to mention that in the export market, it was the direct competitor to the Apache and the Eurocopter, which, cough cough, allegedly, God knows what type of fucking wrench they thrown at the development. The only supporters of the Rooivalk were the South African Army, the South African people, and one man from Iran called Bob Dickinson. This was the general history of the Rooivalk. Now let's get on with the armors and modules.
Welcome to the Armor and Modular.
Welcome to the Armor and Modular Protection Analysis, where we basically analyze the armors and modules inside of a vehicle. Today's aircraft is the Rooivalk Mark 1 FCSH. Now the first thing we need to take a look at is the crew. This aircraft has a This aircraft has a pilot and a gunner sitting in a tandem seat configuration. The crew has CCIP on its cannons and rockets, including EEGS for the gun, a fully equipped missile approach warning system with plenty of countermeasures, laser warning systems and a laser warning receiver, night vision and thermals alongside a very good optical system, helmet-mounted sight, and of course a solid radar warning receiver. This helicopter has 3 self-sealing fuel tanks situated at the center of the helicopter with these fuel presets. The fuel consumption on this helicopter is absolutely phenomenal, and you don't have to worry about how much fuel you're going to carry. Yes, there might be a major jump between 1 hour and 2 hours and 48 minutes, but hey, that's what the fuel quantity slider is for. And even if you're set on fire, I'm sure that the fire extinguisher will be a good friend, since this helicopter does in fact have an engine fire extinguisher. And speaking of the engine, this helicopter has 2
Turbo Mecha Makila 1K2
Post editing Bob Dickinson here. Can you please stop being racist for 5 goddamn minutes? Shit, my bad. Engines that despite, oh my god, did you just had to update now? Alright, my iPad went into iPadOS 26 now, give it some time. Engines that despite their low output can accelerate this helicopter quite decently, and overall it doesn't really feel that bad when it comes to the engine collective pitch management. And no matter what you do with this thing, the engine RPM is very much stable and it does not go below 90% in most of the cases. But I will talk about the flight performance a little bit later. At the end, you have the oil cooling systems, transmissions, traction to the control surfaces, and prop shafts. Now let's get on with the armaments of this helicopter. Let's start with the ZT-6 Makopas, 4 installed on each pylon, giving you 16 missiles total. The ZT-6 Makopas are top attack missiles that feel relatively comfortable to play with, unlike its top-tier competitor, the AGM-114 Hellfire. This thing has a very good speed, decent explosive mass, and incredible range with amazing penetration and the tandem charge warhead. Compared to the Hellfires, it has a longer range, has less explosive mass, but the penetration is better. This can be a very promising missile to use against the enemy tanks. They pack quite a bit of punch, but they still have your classic Hellfire problems such as losing hopes and dreams as soon as they see smoke or a tree between the target. Outside of that, it is a very good missile which I would recommend. Up next, we have the FC-49 heat rockets. Ironically, it's made by Belgium, the only country which has the population of 1. Belgium, and calling it Shimakazakhstan once we hit 20.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Shout out to my homie Shimakaze, follow him on Twitch.
Fuck Bob and subscribe to him, chat. Go hit subscribe. I just exposed myself, didn't I?
God damn it. God damn it.
I already subscribed to him. I did it independently.
Yeah, now to his credit, he actually subscribed to my second channel, which... Wait, hold on. I'm the only subscriber here, what the fuck? Up next we have the FC-49 heat rockets, 1 pod installed on the 4 inner pylons, 19 rockets per pod, giving you 76 total. Honestly, they do the job quite fine if you want to pick them up. But please remember, if you want to fire your rockets, you have the wings installed at an angle. Aiming them might be a little bit awkward, but if you know how to handle your CCIP, it can pretty much feel like home. Up next we have the Mistral air-to-air missiles, 1 pod installed on the both outer pylons, 2 missiles per pod, giving you 4 Mistrals total. The Mistral is an air-to-air missile that has a decent range, maneuvers incredibly well, has a ridiculous acceleration alongside a proxy fuse that most of the common manpads do not have. I'm looking at you, Stinger. And overall, it feels incredible. However, there are several characteristics I noticed about the missile that makes it a little bit different than the other competitive manpads. First of all, the missile goes so fast that it does not have enough time to maneuver at short ranges. And once it does, it loses plenty of energy. This might limit your maximum engagement range to 4 or 5 kilometers for better performance. It is a unique missile in itself, and it feels really good to play around with it. And finally, the GI-2 cannon installed on the nose of the aircraft. This cannon is nice for what it is, a 20mm cannon with high fire rate and decent accuracy. Just like the Mi-24 Superhind, it has plenty of flexibility with regards to its gun arc and depression angles. This cannon has no problem hitting lightly armored vehicles, however, when it comes to MBTs, I highly doubt you're gonna do anything but damage the engines or the roofs. And when it comes to engaging the enemy aircrafts, it is also nice as well. Anyways, let's have a look at its flight performance. When it comes to its flight performance, I really have to say it is better than the AH-64 itself. When you spawn in your helicopter, you might start at 60% RPM, but once you got the RPM up by tapping the collective pitch, you're free to do whatever you want without any kind of consequences. As this helicopter does not understand the concept of a collective pitch management or just engine pressure of any shape or form. Seriously, every time I try to pull an extreme maneuver on this thing, the RPM never went below 89%. I've heard some people talk about the engine over rev on this thing, but I myself personally never really experienced this in combat. And honestly, this is amazing. You kind of feel like you're playing in arcade difficulty, but in fact, you're in realistic. If you're at maximum speed in the Apache and want to turn, you have to do the same maneuver as the Mi-35M in the previous video, but in the left direction. On this thing, you have to do it on the right, and every time you do it, the engine RPM will go high. But the funny thing is you can instantly control it and it will still be totally fine. I love this type of competition, as you can literally tell these guys are both great rivals of each other. Both have amazing maximum speed and flight performances, but I kind of feel like you can have a lot more potential with a Rooivalk. The pitch control is very good, the yaw control is lovely, and the roll rate is fairly nice. Now let's get on with the Heli PvE. When it comes to Heli PvE, the Rooivalk does not disappoint at all. This thing could handle any task you want it to without any kind of problems. Let's go through all these 5 objectives and see how this helicopter can perform. Destroying the enemy assaults and defenses is something that can be done really fast and very efficiently. You have the ability to chain fire your Makopas, and your optics give you the flexibility to aim at longer ranges as well. If you want to also carry out the rockets, the FC-49 does not disappoint either. Destroying the enemy bombers and attackers should be fine so long as you remember the range of the Mistrals. And even if you ran out of missiles and there are aircrafts left around your vicinity, you can always use your cannon to shoot them down. As for destroying the enemy bases, this thing can also do it, albeit you don't have the bombs and your missiles do not have the effective explosiveness. At the end, it does the job. Destroying the enemy convoy is going to be just as easy as the enemy assaults and defenses. However, since your missiles have a top attack flight path, they might lose control upon seeing the herds of tanks getting stuck together. In that case, I would suggest you to press the lock key once again to be able to freely point your missile without worrying about its fate. Landing and capturing the enemy... Oh god, I just forgot about this one major weakness that this helicopter has. Yes, a little fun fact about the helicopter: the Rooivalk has single-handedly one of the most shittest puttiest and weakest landing gears you could possibly find in this entire game. Seriously, I tried some minor pressure tests on this helicopter and I was really surprised on how fragile these landing gears are. You see, things such as the Apache, the Mi-35, or the K-52, or the Mi-28NM generally have resistible landing gears, as you can brute force these poor guys without having too much problems. This feels like your average Mexican princess having a temper tantrum. Claro. Anyways, where were we? Oh yeah, landing and capturing the base is something that you can do pretty easily. You have the mobility and the maneuverability to do so, but once again, I will warn you, please be careful with the landing gears on this thing. But outside of that, the helicopter did not disappoint me in Heli PvE. But does it still do the same in ground realistic? Well, let's have a look at that. When it comes to realistic battles, this helicopter pretty much has everything you need. However, I'm afraid that the more we go forward, the more dangerous the air becomes in general. The anti-airs have pretty much become point-and-click simulators, where you can launch 5 missiles at a helicopter simultaneously while drinking your tea biscuit and laughing your ass off. Don't worry about it, the brand new helis are gonna come soon. But anyways, what about the BR lineups? Well, I have to say it's at a decent spot of 11.7, where you have a proper anti-air, plenty of challengers to choose from if you wish to grind these 3, you absolute maniac, and of course, who can forget the Indian MiG-21, the Australian F-111C, and the British Tornado. Seriously, you thought DI has a lot of diversity? Wait until you see the British 11.7 lineup. You have the upside down people, you have the people that can't go home normally without putting sunglasses on in a slow motion, you have the black people that, contrary to the popular belief, are not actually black. Overall, you have a solid lineup for the helicopter. Gameplay-wise, it shouldn't have any problems if you know how to play it right. You generally have 3 ways of playing this helicopter. You either do a rocket rush, which I have to say, if you actually do it right, you can be successful in it, or you can go full air defense mode, which does not disappoint you if you utilize your mistrals right, or you can use your air-to-ground missiles. I will eventually make a guide on how to use the top attack missiles, but until then, you can use the cover to hide from the enemy anti-air, of course, if there is any cover, and try your best to be an absolute pain in the ass for the anti-air. Man, I wish I could actually review one of these anti-airs. It's not like I don't have any test drives on it. Wait, what the fuck? Now let's get on with the final verdict. At the end, ladies and gentlemen, is this helicopter really worth it? Back in the days, this helicopter used to be a pack sale, but right now it's sitting at a healthy price of around 9,000 golden eagles. Honestly, in my personal opinion, it is totally worth it. As an Apache main, I can argue that it is better than the premium Greek and the Israeli Apache, but at the same time, you also have to look at your lineups and see which nations you're going to grind. If you want to grind Great Britain without pretending like you have an attack helicopter, despite the fact that it's a utility, looking at you, G-Links, I think this helicopter can be a decent choice. One that you will not regret, and the anti-airs will totally let you play safely without any issues, right? To me personally, as an Apache fan, I love this helicopter and I cannot wait to see 2 or 3 more variants of this helicopter being added to the game. I mean, let's be fair, we have 11 variants of the Apache and another one's gonna add in soon. So why not just have 2 or 3 more as well, Gaijin? Before I wrap up this video, I would like to thank my friend Willie for helping me out on the blueprint of this helicopter. He helped me out quite a lot and made my job a lot easier and faster when it comes to the blueprints and modules of this helicopter. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to like and subscribe, dislike it if you dislike it, and if you want to support my channel even further, you can also donate to Super Thanks or join my YouTube membership if you want to. For now, this is me, Bob Dickinson, and thank you for watching. Oh my god, 50 minutes of film. Why did it took so long? Oh, no wonder. iPadOS was installing all the goddamn Okay. Thank you, Apple. Thank you.